Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Sadhana Chatushtaya is a teaching of the divine sage Adi Shankara. This teaching refers to the 4 traits that one should strive and develop before and during one's spiritual journey. These form the bedrock for spiritual growth and personal transformation. Namaste and welcome to KYG and in Sarnath. I'm still here in the grounds that surround this beautiful Buddhist temple. Behind me is the stupa established by King Akbar. I'll try and see if I can get closer to that. That's another way. I have to get back to the road and take the cab to go there. But I'm being guided and I'm being inspired to share some more thoughts in this quieter place on the next virtue. In the course of these last few classes, we have been covering the various prerequisites, the pillars, the foundations that we need to practice yoga, to be in the spiritual path, to understand Vedanta, to understand our real self. So, we have learned about Viveka, Vairagya, Shat-sampatti, the 6 virtues is the 3rd pillar. And within that pillar, there are 6 components because it says 6 virtues. So the question would be, what are these 6 virtues which form this 3rd pillar? So we covered Sama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha. We spoke about endurance. And now we come to the 5th one. And perhaps this one quality has been the favorite of so many teachers and so many scriptures in yoga. And that quality is called Shraddha. 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 It's a very beautiful word. There is so much of weight to that word, Shraddha. There is so much of energy to this word. It means faith. It means perseverance. It means dedication with faith. You could be practicing in your path, in your spiritual path, whatever that may be, either chanting, going to temple, or practicing yoga, or all of this. You could do that. And you could be doing it for 10 years. You could be following a teacher. I know many Sai devotees, Sai Baba devotees, who say, I've been a devotee for 40 years, I've been a devotee for 60 years and 50 years and so on. And then they tell me, but what else is next? I don't know. Why is this so? Why is it that you've been in the path forever and nothing seems to happen? This one virtue solves that problem. Because there is not enough faith. There is not enough dedication. If the plant doesn't grow and you put the seed and you are doing all you know that you have to do, like water it and manure it and all of that, if the seed doesn't come up in a few weeks, what do? You don't sit back and say, you know what, I tried my best and walk away. If you really want the plant. If you really don't want it, yes, that sounds perfect. But if you really want the plant, the rose plant from in that corner in your garden, then you dig in and you see what went wrong and you examine and you go further. You buy a different seed, a better quality, and then you put it, and then you slowly develop a faith in your process. And once the sprout comes and when you see a sapling, you begin to believe, wow, it is working. This is working. And when that is working, we need to put in even more effort, even more dedication, even more faith. Faith is popularly today, again, it's a these words in English always create a misnomer. Faith today is broadly understood as religion, right? In a conversation, you ask, what is your faith? Or in a form that you fill in when you travel across countries, they might ask you, what is your faith or your religion? So religion and faith are used as synonyms. But in this case, it's not so. I'm not using faith as a religion. I'm using faith as a quality. The power to believe. When belief is constantly churned into practice, and when that practice yields experiences, those experiences give birth to faith. The first stepping stone is belief, and then with that belief you get into practice, and then slowly you get these little awakenings, little signposts that show you are on the right path or not, and then you switch and finally you begin to awaken to a deeper belief, a deeper faith. Faith is a product of your experiences. Faith is a result of grace, if you will. Grace that comes as a result of your own effort. You incur the grace from the universe. You bank on the common wisdom that the yogis and the seers and the rishis drew from. You begin to tap into that universal wisdom, and then you begin to know. And that knowing can never be shaken. Never be shaken. That knowing brings upon a deep sense of peace and conviction in your heart. And that forms your core energy that guides you. So Shraddha is that deep faith that comes. All you need is a diving board. And once you get this guru, this teacher, this book, this religion to provide you that diving board, take the diving board and dive into the pool. But you sit back and praise or blame the board, then you're getting nowhere with it. The messenger and the message, you got to learn to distinguish between the two. Have great reverence for the messenger, the Sadguru, but begin to absorb his message and bring about transformation in your life, because you have faith in the words of the Guru. When you were a child, why is faith so important? When you were a child and you were just barely 1.5, 2 years old and you were learning to walk, you didn't know what walking was, because you're not thinking that time, right? I mean, you're thinking in the sense that you're not thinking like the way we're analyzing it now. The brain is not so developed. You're like a sponge. You're simply absorbing stuff. So at that point, you look up and you see all these big people. You call them mummy and daddy, and they're all walking, they're jumping, they're running. It seems like magic to you. You're like, what are they doing? And I'm struggling, just turning on my belly, and I'm flapping my arms and feet, not able to get anywhere. Then you begin to listen to the words of your mother and your dad. They stand a few feet away and say, come, baby, come to me. And you get so excited, you want to go there. And from within, the knowledge comes. The instinct comes for you to be able to get up and walk. You fall, you get up, you fall, you get up. When you fall and hurt yourself, you cry. Sometimes you can get hurt badly. It's not your mother's fault. It is a process of learning, right? So you don't turn around and say, you cheated me. I thought you were going to help me, and then you just made me walk and I fell. You don't do that. You trust the mother's voice implicitly. You trust her calling you implicitly, and then you learn to walk. And the joy and the freedom then comes in. You can walk, you can run, and then they had to put a dog leash over you to keep you from going everywhere and anywhere. Correct? This all of us have experienced. It's a regular experience for all of us. But for that, from the point of lying down on your belly or on your back, to be able to turn, to be able to crawl, to be able to walk, you needed faith. You didn't know it was faith, but you needed faith. You saw people, you saw them walking, and somehow, without questioning, unconditional faith, unconditionally, without questioning, you were able to observe, learn, follow the dictates of your mom, dad, brothers, maybe siblings, and then you began to be like them. This is the faith. Without that initial faith in the words of a teacher, faith in the words of the scriptures, faith in the words of somebody who claims to have achieved that state, without judging them, because you are not in a position to judge them, because you are not there yet. So how can you say somebody is God or not God? How can somebody say somebody is enlightened or not enlightened if you have not experienced it, right? So without judgment, you have to find your teacher, you have to find your book, you have to find the calling inside, and then develop faith in that based on the message of this messenger. What is the message he's giving you? Is that message leading you to freedom? And if your inner spirit connects to that teaching, you will know it. Nobody can, that's why I tell people wherever I go in my retreats or in my workshops, I tell them, don't push your faith onto your children. If you believe in Jesus Christ, that's fine, but you can't convince others to believe in you. If you believe in Sai Baba, it's fine, but you can't convince others to believe in him. It is not about, I found it, you also find this path. Then you are making it into a religion, into a dogma. And that's where we have ended up for most part. But in spirituality, the teacher will call you. You will listen to the teacher and you will know that this guy or this lady or this book, this teaching makes so much sense to me, and I am with it. This is my path. This is my calling, if you will. Your inner spirit will connect. Your heart will tell you that. Once you get that, then the rest is just unconditional faith. We will fall and get shaken up, and then we get up and say, oh my gosh, let me get back on track. And that's okay. You are allowed to make mistakes when it comes to faith. For example, let's take a down to earth everyday example, like in Amazon. First, when Amazon was when they just got into online marketing, people said, are they crazy? Who's going to buy groceries in Amazon? Who's going to buy, other than just books, who's going to buy dresses in Amazon? Who's going to buy electronics in Amazon? Shouldn't you know what it is, and how do you trust them, and this and that? But all that went away, correct? Over a period of time, Amazon, for example, proved that it delivers what it says. So now you have implicit faith in Amazon. But now when it comes to buying a product, what do? You go and check reviews of what others have said about the product, what others' experiences were, and you put your faith in their words, in their experiences. So they are the gurus who are leading you to your product. The ones who put their reviews are the ones who are guiding you towards whether to take it or not. Right? When you want to watch a movie, you want to know if it's good or bad, what do? You check the reviews of the movie. And when you check the reviews, you're going to listen to what 50 people say, and then you like one or two people. Oh, I like what they said. This is exactly what I was looking for. And if it has worked for them, it should be working for me. Then you have that faith in your heart. You go and watch the movie. And then it creates your own experience. You might come out not liking the movie. You might come out seeing something more than that person told you can see, and so on and so forth. But the beginning steps, the first few steps in spiritual path, and when I say few steps, it's a lot more than just 3 or 4 steps. It takes a few lifetimes. You need to have faith in the teachings of the Vedas, the Vedanta, the Guru who represents them, the texts that represent them, teachings of the yogic scriptures, the texts, the practices that they have set out. When you listen and your inner voice draws towards that, then that becomes your path. And then you jump into it unconditionally and carry that practice with dedication, one-pointedness and dedication. So titiksha, without faith, titiksha is what we learned last time, enduring a path, staying in this path for however long, 20 years, 30 years. Without faith will yield 0 results. You will be just exactly the same. You could have attended 500 bhajan sessions, kirtan sessions. You could have attended 500 retreats spread over, 40 years maybe. You could claim all of that. But if there is no inner transformation, it just means that you are on the path without inherent faith that slowly begin to open doors. So practice is not alone. Practice with faith. Practice with viveka. Practice with vairagya. Practice with the shat-sampatti. All of this joins together to make it a powerful spiritual practice. When you enter into this meditation and close your eyes with Shraddha and faith that the answer is within me, and I have to simply draw my mind and attain that stillness, then it begins to work for you. So in today's class, meditate upon Shraddha. Find out what Shraddha means to you. Shraddha, dedication. Shraddha, faith. Shraddha is one-pointed, determined effort. Shraddha is unconditional belief in the words of the Guru. Shirdi Sai Baba, an old yogi in the 19th century, he said there are only 2 things you require for the spiritual path: Shraddha and Saburi. Shraddha is dedication, faith, belief. You got to believe something to start off with. You can't question everything and anything, and then you will be exactly where you are. Shraddha. And Saburi is effort, determined effort. So that Saburi he's talking about has all of these viveka, vairagya, shama, dhamma, all of that into that one word. So Shraddha is a word that has been the favorite of teachers. There is no teacher that I know of in the Indian pantheon, in the Sanathana Dharma, in the path of yoga, who doesn't teach you this quality of developing Shraddha or faith. When you develop that kind of faith, you never look back. You have a pillar to lean on. You have a chair to sit on. And that helps you and prepares you for the sixth virtue, which is a beautiful virtue. Let me see if I can get closer to the pillar or go to another temple and talk about that sixth virtue there. Again, I'm so grateful to be sharing these beautiful thoughts on yoga in the place, in the environment where Buddha taught his disciples. What a great opportunity for you and I to be learning these values of spirituality in these holy places. So, Om Mani Padme Hum, I bow to the lotus feet of Buddha. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for watching. For today's class, meditate on Shraddha. What Shraddha means to you, what faith means to you, how conditional is your faith, whom does your faith depend on, whom do you believe, or what text do you believe, or what teaching is your innermost call, where it's unshaken faith. Go straight to that. For me, it is my Guru, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, his teachings and his formless aspect, which I see as Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.